Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've really been wanting to paint Cardan from The Cruel Prince for a minute now, so I wanted to share the process with you. I've also sort of been going through an art block here recently, so I just kind of wanted to share some tips that really help me get through art blocks and hopefully help you too. I think for me, one of the really best things that you can do if you are going through an art block is to take breaks from art. It doesn't always have to be a long break. Sometimes it's just like a day or two of stepping back from your art and just realizing like today's not my day and I'll try again tomorrow. I don't know if you're like this, but I know for me, sometimes specific paintings will put me into an art block, and that's kind of what happened this time. I was working on this painting and I think I just put too much pressure on myself. I was getting so frustrated. I think whenever this happens, the best thing that you can do is just take a break and step away from it. Sometimes if a painting is like just too frustrating, I will literally just delete it. As painful as that is, I will just get rid of it. So that way it's like having a fresh slate, just starting fresh and not having to worry about getting too frustrated with it again. Sometimes I will just leave that painting and maybe come back to it in like a month or two if I really like the idea and the concept. A lot of times I feel a lot better. Like once I've taken some time away from a painting, if you feel like you need more than a couple of days away from art, I really recommend finding other hobbies outside of just art. I feel like a lot of artists fall into this trap, and I did too for a very long time, where art was kind of my only hobby. It's kind of crazy because I used to love reading as a kid and in middle school and high school. And then like after high school, I stopped reading for a really long time and just never really picked it up again until probably like 2 years ago now. I had a really bad art block, and anytime I would make something, I wasn't happy with it, or I didn't have any ideas of what to draw, or like I was just stuck. I finally took up reading again, and honestly, that helped me more than anything ever. Having something else to focus on and put mental energy into other than art, I think really made a difference. And honestly, whenever I came back to drawing and painting again, I had so much inspiration and ideas and things because like I got back into reading and I was reading all these books and these characters, and it just gave me so many ideas. If you find that you only do art, you can do reading, or you could do crocheting, or even if you did like clay or pottery or something different, like it can still be creative. And then while you're focusing on that, your brain is kind of resting from having to worry about making art. Because I feel like, especially when you're in an art block, it's really easy to feel pressure, especially if you have like an art account or social media for your art. It's really easy to get pressured, and you have to create content for Instagram or YouTube or Patreon or whatever. I think by finding other hobbies and other things to put your mind on really helps take that pressure off. And then whenever you come back to it, I feel like you're, for me at least, re-energized whenever I do this. So yeah, I really, really recommend just getting other hobbies. It can still be like a creative hobby. Just find something else other than just art. And another way that I like to deal with art blocks is with a lot of fan art, hence why I'm painting Cardan. I have always loved fan art and drawing fan art. Really, that's kind of what got me started, like drawing in middle school. I was drawing a lot of like Percy Jackson fan art. So it's really just like a comfort zone thing for me. But I also think in general, even if you're not used to doing a lot of fan art, I think it can really help with art blocks because it takes away a lot of the like mental effort required for creating an illustration or a painting, because you don't have to come up with characters. Like you can just say, oh, I want to draw Percy and Annabeth. You don't have to really create new characters because you already know them, you know their description. So it takes away a lot of the mental effort to come up with a brand new idea. It's a lot easier to sort of like narrow down and have a focus of what you want to draw if you just think about what's your favorite book, what's your favorite TV show. You can look up fan art online of like the way that other people have drawn certain characters and see how you can put your own spin on it. I just feel like it takes a lot less mental capacity to like draw fan art, which I think is really important whenever you're going through an art block, because you want very like low intensity things to draw that don't require a lot of mental effort, because I think the more mental effort you're having to put into drawing, the less likely you are to get over your art block. And I do think like, art blocks are very common and normal, and I feel like it's kind of the normal flow of being an artist. I don't think there's an artist who like just never has an art block. And just trying not to put too much pressure on yourself. That's something that I feel like I have been doing a lot lately. And I think it has to do with really ever since I started a Patreon. I really want to create a lot of quality content so that I know that people are at least getting like their money's worth. And the fact that people put money into supporting me and my art is really cool, but also kind of intimidating. I feel like that's part of why I have been struggling so much with like an art block here lately. This art block has been kind of going on for the last like month or so, but it really got worse because I think I was trying to do a painting that I was just getting too frustrated with. But I think the reason I was getting so frustrated with it is because I was putting so much pressure to have it look a certain way or do certain things in that painting that I just am not comfortable with yet. Need to practice more before I can really execute well. And I think with Patreon, I just there's a lot of pressure because I want people to get their money's worth. And there's that pressure with YouTube and stuff too, but this is a little different because people aren't paying to watch my videos on YouTube, but they are paying to see my art on Patreon. And yes, it's $2. Like, it's not an insane amount of money, but like to me, I want to make sure that someone can feel like they're getting their money's worth every month. And I don't know, it's a little like intimidating. It's just something that like I'm having to learn to work through and just do my best and see how it goes. But yeah, I'm getting there. And like I said, I think my art block is getting better. But I do think I am going to be doing a lot more fan art for the time being because I just find it easy and simple. And I've always loved doing fan art, and that's kind of always why I wanted to get better at art. Well, I can remember in middle and high school, I just wanted to do beautiful paintings of all my favorite book characters. And I feel like my art skill is finally getting sort of to the level that I wanted as a kid, which is really cool. But yeah, I think the biggest thing with art blocks is just to know that like it's not forever. I think for me personally, a lot of times my art blocks stem from just putting too much pressure on myself. And so if you also feel like you do that too, I think the biggest thing is just take breaks and, you know, do other things, have hobbies outside of art. And I think that'll go a long way in helping if you feel like you're just like really struggling to get through an art block. And here is our sweet boy Cardan. I hope you guys liked seeing this process. I hope the art block tips were helpful in some way. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.